Okay, let's kick things off. Imagine you're in Krabi, Thailand. Beautiful place, right? But maybe you want something a bit more adventurous than the usual beach scene.
Yeah, something that gets you off the beaten path, literally.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into these ATV jungle adventures you hear about. We've looked at a bunch of tour sites and booking info to really get a handle on what's offered.
Right. The mission here is basically to unpack it all. What are these tours really like? What options do you actually have? The essential stuff if you're thinking about doing one.
It definitely sounds like it's aimed at, well, thrill seekers maybe, or just people who want a different way to see Krabi's nature. We're talking lush forests, rugged trails.
And plantations, that kind of thing. It's a unique perspective.
And the sources suggest it's not just one single type of tour either. There seems to be some variety.
That's right. So based on what we've seen, the most basic way to do it is just the standalone ATV ride itself.
Okay, a dedicated ATV experience. What does that look like? How long are you actually out there bouncing around?
Well, you've got options. Seems like there's a shorter, maybe 40-minute ride. The pricing mentioned, around 1,200 Thai baht for an adult, suggests it's maybe like a taster session.
A quick blast, yeah.
Exactly. And then there's a longer full-hour option. That one costs a bit more. Looks like about 1,600 baht for an adult.
Okay, so that extra 20 minutes, does it make a big difference? Is it just more the same trail?
It likely means more than just distance. The description suggests the hour-long ride lets you cover, more varied terrain. You get more comfortable, maybe tackle some slightly tougher paths.
Right.
They consistently mention going through rubber and palm plantations, hitting actual mountainous, rugged trails. So yeah, it's not just some flat dirt track around a field.
Gotcha. And one thing that jumped out from the sources was that these tours often run rain or shine.
Yeah, that says something, doesn't it?
It does.
It suggests they're ready for, well, tropical weather. But also maybe embracing the mud and getting a bit messy is like part of the whole adventure appeal they're selling.
Adds to the authenticity, maybe, the wildness.
Could be. It certainly makes it feel less predictable.
Okay, but what if just riding the ATV isn't quite enough? What if you want, a bigger day out? Yeah. The sources mention these things popping up in larger packages, too.
They absolutely do. A big one seems to be a full-day jungle tour. This is a much longer experience, maybe 7 hours total.
Wow, okay.
And it bundles the ATV ride in with other major Krabi highlights. Things like swimming in the famous Emerald Pool, relaxing at the hot spring waterfall.
So the ATV part there is more like one activity component within a bigger nature tour. How long is the ATV bit in that case?
It's shorter, seems to be around 30 minutes, specifically for the ATV section in that full-day package.
Makes sense. And those packages, they usually include things like hotel pickup, lunch, water, insurance. Makes it pretty convenient, right?
Generally, yes.
All right.
But important note, the sources mention extra national park fees often aren't included in the main price for those full-day tours. Looks like around 600 baht or extra for adults. Good heads up.
Right, need to factor that in. Okay, so that's one type of combo. But you mentioned another one, something different.
Yeah, totally different vibe. It's an ATV and kayak adventure.
Ooh, ATV and kayak. That sounds like quite a shift in energy levels.
It really does. So this one, the ATV ride is a bit longer than in the full-day tour, about 45 minutes, the sources say. And it seems specifically focused on getting you up to a mountaintop viewpoint.
Nice. So adrenaline first, then a view.
Pretty much. And then after that, you completely switch gears. You head down and go kayaking through the Dindang mangrove maze. Very calm, very serene after the ATV.
Wow, okay. Uphill buzz, then peaceful paddling. That's quite the contrast. Did the sources say anything else about that one?
Yeah, they mentioned potentially spotting wildlife in the mangroves, which sounds cool.
Right.
And maybe some authentic Thai food included too. It really shows, the range of ways you can package this ATV experience.
Definitely. Okay, so we've got standalone rides, a full nature day with a short ATV bit, or this ATV viewpoint kayak combo. But before anyone gets too excited and clicks book, there are some important practical things mentioned, right?
Absolutely crucial points, like who can actually ride?
Good question.
Kids age 4 to 11 can generally go, but only as passengers with an adult driving. They can't drive themselves.
Okay, safety first.
And this is really key. These tours are generally not recommended if you're pregnant or if you have back problems, spinal issues, or any significant heart conditions. The terrain is genuinely rugged.
Right, that's a serious health consideration. Makes sense. What about gear? What should you actually bring along?
Comfort is key.
Yeah.
So comfortable clothes, nothing too baggy that might catch on something, and crucially, closed-toe shoes.
Mhm.
Absolutely no flip-flops or sandals.
Yeah, I can imagine why.
Definitely. Then the usual tropical stuff.
Yeah.
Sunscreen, insect repellent, and probably a good idea to bring a camera, right?
Mm.
For the views
Huh?
and maybe the buddy selfies.
Yeah. Okay, and how about getting a spot? Do you just show up?
Probably not the best idea. The sources strongly recommend booking in advance, especially if you're traveling during peak season. These things are popular, and they do fill up.
Good tip. So booking ahead is smart.
Very smart.
Okay, so wrapping this up. Looking at all this info, it's pretty clear an ATV adventure in Krabi isn't just like one single thing.
Not at all. You can go for a focused, intense off-road session, or you can weave it into a bigger day, exploring some really iconic natural spots.
You can really tailor it, can't you? Depending on whether you want pure adrenaline or a mix of excitement and relaxation,
Yeah.
and which specific bits of Krabi you want to see up close.
Exactly. And you just have to be ready for an adventure, potentially a muddy one, because as we said, rain or shine, the ride goes on.
So this deep dive shows you're not locked into just one way of doing it. You've got options to shape your own kind of Krabi off-road experience, which does make you think. How does that contrast, between the loud, bumpy, high-energy ATV part and then suddenly being somewhere incredibly peaceful like the Emerald Pool or quietly kayaking in mangroves? How does that juxtaposition actually change the feel of the whole adventure? And maybe if you're listening, which kind of combination actually sounds the most compelling?